Welcome back to Rcomics. I am your host, Riggs, and this is the poll list for September 29th, 2021. These are the 7 books coming out this week that I am looking forward to most. Up first is Becstar, written by Joe Corello, art by Lorenzo Colangeli, cover art by Sweeney Boo. This is Becstar's final issue. This has been a very nice series so far. Joe Corello has hinted at that he might actually be able to continue the story on after this, but I'm very interested to see how he wraps this up in issue 5. This is a fun adventure comic. This is what people say they want a lot in comics. Becstar number 5, I would highly suggest you pick up and check out. Up next is Berserker number 5, writer Matt Kindt and Keanu Reeves, art by Ron Garney, cover art by Lee Garber. This is a excellent balls to the wall action book. It is a lot of fun. They're getting more into the emotion of it as the arc is going along. You're getting more and more of B. It is a very good book if you like Punisher-esque type stories, if you like blood and gore. This is good, and it's got some more emotional beats to it now. It's a very fun read. Up next, Deathstroke Inc. number 1, writer Joshua Williams, art and cover art by Howard Porter. This is the crew that brought you the most recent Flash run. They are an excellent team together. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Deathstroke. This is going to be a little bit of a different take on Deathstroke, and we'll see how this goes. I'm very interested to see how Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter handled Deathstroke. They did a great job with Flash, and I really like the character Deathstroke, but I really love their run on Flash. Again, excited to see what they do with Deathstroke Inc. number 1. Up next is Echolands number 2, probably the most beautiful book in comics. Writer J.H. Williams and Hayden Blackman, art and cover art by J.H. Williams. This has been a really good story. I know a lot of people want to talk about the orientation of it, going across horizontal instead of your vertical orientation for a comic book. It makes it stand out on the stands, but also it gives it room for that art to breathe. I know I'm not the first person to say it, but it really does. I mean, J.H. Williams' art is second to none, and the story is actually very entertaining and very good as well. If you're looking for good story and great art, Echolands number 2, can't suggest it enough, and I actually really think the horizontal orientation, don't be hesitant on it. I think it gives it a lot more room for the art to grow and tell a better story. So pick up Echolands number 2. Human Remains number 1, writer Peter Milligan, art and cover art Sally Contrino. This looks like a really fun book. It's a number 1 from Vault. The writer, Peter Milligan, is really why it's on the list. Peter Milligan obviously had a big run on X Statics and a lot of X lines. Great writer, kind of got a little more British cheeky tone to him. It looks like a very interesting book. A love story wrapped around invading monsters. This looks like a really good, fun book. I mean, Peter Milligan's kind of known for that stuff. He's an excellent writer, and I'm really interested to see what he does. Vault really doesn't put out many bad books. Between the publisher and the author on this one, this is why it made the list. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what he comes up with for Human Remains number 1. I am very interested to see how this goes. People have covered it. Everybody knows by now that this isn't how Hickman necessarily wanted to end the X-Men. He's obviously moving on to Substack and a couple other things and working on Marvel special projects. I think a lot of people are disappointed in how the X-Men line went after his Power of X, House of X, or Powers of 10, House of X kicked off. It was a really great kickoff, and it just felt like the line bloated and lost its way. I'm interested to see how he wraps up Inferno and what pieces are left for them to continue the X line. Hopefully this is truly Hickman's vision and he gets to do what he wants to do in the final Inferno series he's got going on here. Really looking forward to it. It's a bummer that Jonathan Hickman didn't get to do what he wants to do. I'm a big fan of Hickman's stuff, so whether it's his Fantastic Four or his Avengers run, I liked how he started the X-Men run. Obviously it got bloated and kind of went off the rails, so I want to see how he ends with Inferno. Could be an excellent run, hopefully like his opening 2 series were for the X-line. Last but not least, Locke and Key, the Sandman universe, Hell and Gone number 2. I liked what number 1 set up, and I also read the 0 issue as well. Big fan of Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez, who's doing the art and cover art. Joe Hill's obviously writing. Locke and Key is his baby. Very good book so far, enjoying it. Want to see where this one ends. I believe this one comes out as a DC book, even though it's a DC IDW collaboration. If you like the Locke and Key universe and you like the newer Sandman universe and Lucifer, you're gonna like this book. It's a very good book. Joe Hill never disappoints with the writing. I'm really excited to see how he ends it, because this is it. In the series, it was a 0 issue, an issue 1, and issue 2 wraps it up. It should be a fun book to wrap up this Locke and Key venture. I'm sure there'll there'll be more Locke and Key coming shortly. And that's it for the poll list for September 29th, 2021. Thank you all for watching, and as always, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time for the poll list.